Um, okay, so I'm not going to speak for too long because I know you're not really here to listen to me, but I do want to tell you a few things about what's going to be happening tonight. We're going to start off with a short little presentation about living maths and what it is that we do, because this is the reason why Dr. Proctor is actually in South Africa. And the way we're going to work it is I'll do a short intro. I'll introduce our speaker. She's going to give you an incredible portrayal of her journey of how she became an astronaut. And then afterwards, we're going to give her a short break just to recover. And while we're doing that, we are going to play some Kahoot. How many of you have played Kahoot before? How many of you have never heard of Kahoot before? Oh, I love it when we introduce newbies to something exciting. And let me tell you, we've got 3 prizes to give away. And just know that you are not only competing with the people in the auditorium, we have got an international audience that are watching the live stream, so they are playing as well. And what we're going to do is we've got 3 prizes. The first prize is going to be a piece of rock from the moon. Now, I know what you're going to say. They're not giving out pieces of rock from the moon. This is a rock that came to Earth. Think about how that could have happened. The second prize is this retro game with 400 games in it. It's got Super Mario's and Pac-Man and all the good stuff that your parents are going to fight you for. So you could win this as second prize. And third prize, I think you might want an autograph photo of Dr. Proctor. So let's talk a little bit about living maths very, very quickly. And I've even shortened the slides. And is it moving ahead? There we go. What is living maths? We basically a STEAM-based program. We teach in about 30 schools in Cape Town, and it is our job to make maths, science, technology, engineering, robotics, coding, space, and the arts exciting for young students. We do a lot of online classes, in-person classes where we go to the schools and we work with the very young ones up to about grade 9. And then we also do online classes. So we are not only teaching in the schools, we've got a lot of kids who want to join in on our programs and find out more about problem solving and brain teasers and puzzles. And I had the wonderful privilege this morning of going to a Women's Day function, and one of the guest speakers who was on the panel with Dr. Proctor was a fantastic astrophysicist called Caris Gilbert. And it turns out I thought that name seemed familiar, and that's when I remembered that primary school, and she was absolutely amazed that I could even remember her. And then, of course, we're doing a lot of outreach. We think it's very important to go out to various areas that don't always have the opportunity to come to us. And in the past few days, for example, we've driven out to areas like 4-hour drives just to reach certain places that are often overlooked or forgotten. And I think it's very important that we give opportunities like this to everyone. That's what it's all about. And then we're doing a lot of international events. I've just come back from China. In October, I'm off to Ireland and then Brazil, because we are not only just working with teachers and educators and organizations here, we are connecting with organizations around the world, and we enjoy all those sort of collaborations. And then we've got some guest speakers. Right now, we've got Dr. Proctor. A couple of months ago, we had Jim Adams, the former Deputy Chief Technologist of NASA. We've also got Dr. Heidi Becker, who will be speaking at the Cape Town Science Center on the 14th, and she will be attending this conference as well. And we've also got Yumna Majid, who is arriving tomorrow from Pakistan, and she's been doing a lot of outreach in Lahore, trying to encourage young people to get excited about astronomy. But of course, none of this happens without support. We can't do any of this on our own. We've got some wonderful partners. Saki Kamva, I know Fatima is in the audience and she'll kill me if I point her out, but Saki Kamva is a wonderful partner helping us to make this happen. I Innovate, we've just spent the weekend with I Innovate in Durban, and they are an amazing NGO doing some great space and STEM activities. And of course, one-on-one, we go back many, many years, the wonderful times that we've worked in so many different areas and underserved and underprivileged areas. And of course, the IAU General Assembly. We could have hosted this at a school, but when I realized that it was going to be the IAU General Assembly, I contacted the team and I said, it's happening here because we want to get as many of you an opportunity to hear the most inspiring story tonight. Are you ready for it? Are you ready for it? Okay. So I'm going to ask our very esteemed guest, Dr. Sian Proctor, to join us in a second. I'm not going to give you a bio or a long history, but I will tell you one thing. Are there any teachers in the audience? Put up your hand. Any teachers in the house? So teachers will know that there are two types of teachers. Teachers who can teach and teachers who can reach. And Dr. Proctor is both. She has the most amazing ability to connect with her audience. Not only that, but her story is genuinely very inspiring. So I think we need to give a very warm Cape Town welcome to Dr. Proctor.
Hi, everyone. Hello. Thank you for joining me this evening. It's a real pleasure to be here in Cape Town, and I just can't wait to share my space story with all of you. But I want to start by first asking a question. Raise your hand if you would go to space. You're like, yeah, I see you got the NASA shirt on too. Okay, take a look. No, keep it up. Who wants to go to space? Now take a look around you and see the people who have their hands raised. Right? Most of you do. That's good. Well, when I was very young, your age, I wanted to be an astronaut. Well, let me correct that. I wanted to be, oh, don't drop the mic. I wanted to be a fighter pilot and then an astronaut because when I was growing up, it was all about the right stuff. That's what I knew. And the way that people became astronauts when I was a kid was by becoming a fighter jet pilot in the military and then transitioning over to become an astronaut. So in my head, I thought those two things were linked. But childhood dreams sometimes get away from you because as you grow up, you have other obligations and other things you want to do. And so I kind of went on this long journey, but I never gave up hope that I would one day make it to space. And in 2021, everything changed for me when this happened. Oh, I don't think my slides are up. Oh, there we go. The day of launch, I'm going to be thinking about how my entire life has led up to this moment. I was born on the island of Guam, and the reason why I was born there is that my dad worked for the NASA tracking station. And so I feel like space has always been a part of me. When I got that call, that Zoom, and Jared was on there, and he said that, they picked me for the prosperity seat, that I was going to go to space with him and be part of the Inspiration 4. It really was like getting the golden ticket for Willy Wonka. Everything in my life finally came into focus, and I realized that it was all about this moment in time. I won the prosperity seat for Inspiration 4, and I did that not as a geoscientist or an explorer or an analog astronaut, which are all on my resume. I actually won this as a poet and an artist. We are striving for that Star Trek generation, that idea of a just, equitable, diverse, and inclusive space, or a Jedi space. I'm going to be the first Black female pilot of a spacecraft ever. And to me, that just blows me away. And I want to encourage the next generation to dream that this is possible. And a Jedi space, that's what that's about. I'm Dr. Sian Proctor, and I'm the mission pilot for Inspiration 4. So, how did I go from that childhood dream to that becoming my reality? Well, it started with getting myself flight ready. That video talked about how I was born on the island of Guam. And the reason why I was born there is that my dad was working at the NASA tracking station during the Apollo missions. Now, neither of my parents have college degrees, but my dad, how many of you have seen the movie or read the book Hidden Figures? Yeah. And so my dad was really good at math. And he was able to teach himself the math needed to be able to get hired and work at the Guam tracking station. Now, I am a moon celebration baby. What does that mean? It means it means that I was born 8.5 months after Neil Armstrong took those famous first steps. Any other moon celebration babies in the house? No one? No one? Soon after I was born, my dad left working at the Guam tracking station, and we moved away to Minnesota. But I grew up with my dad's NASA memorabilia on his office wall. And one of the things that he'd gotten was Neil Armstrong's autograph. Neil Armstrong and the Apollo 11 crew, when they came back from space, they did a tour of all the tracking stations around the world to thank them. And so they came to Guam when I was incubating in my mother's stomach, and my dad was able to get Neil Armstrong's autograph. And I just remember as a kid being mesmerized by that my dad had been a part of humans living on the moon, landing on the moon. And so for me, my dad, he was the one who encouraged me that I could do anything. And the first thing that he said to me from a really early age was that education is the road to opportunity. Education will open doors. And so I went off and I became a geoscience professor. I got my degrees in environmental science, geology, my PhD in science education. This was the day that I graduated from Arizona State University with my doctorate. Thank you. Yes. It was a lot of work. Woo. But what was interesting was that my dad, he didn't go again. Neither of my parents had college degrees, but my dad was really, he instilled in me and my siblings this idea that learning doesn't just happen in the classroom. It doesn't just happen with your degrees, that you needed to be a lifelong learner if you were going to achieve all the things that you were meant to achieve in this world. And so I adopted this explorer's mentality, this idea that exploration isn't about discovering something new for humanity. Exploration is about discovering something new for yourself. And that if I were going to, go out and be an explorer of the world, then it was about me going and looking for new things to learn and new ways of experiencing the world around me. So after I got my degree, I went off and I got my pilot's license at 35 years old because I always wanted to fly. Thank you. I got scuba certified. I started traveling around the world. I set goals for myself, 50 by 50 by 50, that I would go to all 50 states in the US and that I would go and visit 50 countries by the time I turned 50. And just thinking about ways that I could continuously learn. But what I was really doing
was I was getting myself like ready for opportunity because I'd always wanted to not just be an explorer of our world, but beyond. And you don't know when opportunity is going to come. So you can imagine when COVID happened in 2020. Now, 2020 was the year I was turning. Let's go back. January of 2020, I was living in a Moon and Mars simulation for 2 weeks. So, a Moon and Mars simulation, I was acting like an analog astronaut, living in this Mars simulation. And then we came out of that and we went into a global pandemic in March of 2020. Now, if you all did the math and I said I was a moon celebration baby, you will know that that was the year I was turning 50 in March, end of March. And here we are in a lockdown, a global pandemic. And what I realized about myself is that when there's uncertainty around me, that's when I reach into myself and pull out my creativity. And I think that happens for a lot of us. During the pandemic, how many of you became bakers? Raise your hand. You're like, yeah, I hear banana bread was the rage. You raise your hand if you were like, yeah, I was making banana bread all the time. In the United States, it was sourdough. How many of you picked up a musical instrument or learned how to sew or did something creative because it was something you could control? Your own creativity in a world of chaos. For me, I became an artist and a poet during COVID. So my entire career I had spent as a geoscience professor. And now here I was, reaching inside of me and pulling out art and poetry. And the reason why is because I wanted to I started creating postcard art because I wanted to send cheer around the world to people. So via social media, I was creating these different postcards and then sharing them with people, not knowing that 9 months later, it would win me a seat to space. And so what happened here? So let's go through the timeline. March 2020 would go into the global pandemic. Let me say July-ish is when I started doing space art and became a space art and a poet. February of 2021, they announced Inspiration 4, the first all-civilian mission to orbit, and that they were going to give away seats. In fact, they were giving 2 seats away that you could win via contests. Now, they announced this during the Super Bowl. I don't watch the Super Bowl. I'm like one of the few people globally, I think, that doesn't watch the Super Bowl. But my phone started blowing up saying, you can win a seat to space. You can win a seat to space if you just donate to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. And I was like, oh, I can do that. So I looked up Inspiration 4 and I found out about the generosity seat. If you donated to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, you could win the generosity seat. But there wasn't just one seat up for grab, there were 2 seats. The second seat was the prosperity seat. That required a little more work. You had to show your entrepreneurial spirit by creating a 2-minute Twitter video expressing why they should take you to space, along with a few other things to show that you're an entrepreneur. So, being the explorer that I am, I applied for both. Why go for one when you can go for 2? So I donated to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, but now I had to create a video. Think about this. All of you that raised your hand and said, I would go to space. Imagine that that opportunity was right here in front of you now. All you had to do was create a 2-minute video explaining why they should pick you and not the person next to you. What would you say? What would you do to get them to want to choose you and not somebody else? That was the situation I was in 2021. I had to come up with a video. And I thought to myself, I had just found my authentic voice as an artist and a poet. So instead of just saying to them in this video that I'm an artist and a poet, I thought to myself, I need to show them that I'm an artist and a poet. So I wrote a poem. I wrote a poem called Space to Inspire and recorded myself reading it. Would you like to hear it? Wait, would you like to hear it? Okay, this is the poem that, wait, first of all, any poets? Raise your hand if you love doing poetry. Right there, you were like, I love doing poetry. Okay, you'll have to let me know what you think of my poem. This is the poem that won me a seat to space. You've got space. I've got space. We all have space to inspire. That's why we dream of going higher and higher. But what is space if you can't breathe? Let's stop sucking out the air of our humanity. We have a moment to seize the light, Earth from space, both day and night. We have J for justice, to ignite the bold. We have E for equity, to cut past the old. We have D for diversity, to end the fight. We have I for inclusion, to try to make it right. A Jedi space to rally behind, a universal force so big it binds. Inspiration to change the world, a new beginning for us to hold. It's not about you. It's not about me. It's about space to inspire for all of humanity. Science, technology, engineering, and math, sending us out on the explorer's path. But don't forget the arts, the heartbeat of time. Consider sending a poet who knows how to rhyme. So let us drop the mic and close the capsule door. But please make sure Dr. Proctor is on board. My space to inspire is what we need. Inspiration for all of humanity. That's the poem that I created. And I must have recorded it about 50 times until I felt like it was just right to put on Twitter. It was a Twitter contest that I won a seat to space. How often does that happen, right? And so I finally, and I told myself when I put that video online, I told myself, no matter what happens, I already won because I created something, put myself out there. When you create something and you share it with the world, it makes you vulnerable. And a lot of times we shy away from doing that. And so I told myself, if I just put this up there and let it out there in the world, I'd already won. And if I happen to get inspiration for, that would be a bonus. Don't you just love bonuses? So I got inspiration for, and raise your hand if you followed my mission and no inspiration for. Okay, a few of you. For those of you who are like, well, what exactly is inspiration for? This is inspiration for.
The reason I started SpaceX was to get humanity to Mars. We want to try to make the dream of space accessible to anyone and ultimately making science fiction not fiction forever.
What they're about to do will change the game entirely. For civilians, are going to space. They will orbit the Earth for 3 days.
On their own.
No, my dream of always wanting to go to space. I wanted to let you know that I got selected.
They start telling me about this all-civilian mission to space. How many astronauts are going? And that's when she said, none. Haley was diagnosed with bone cancer.
I haven't died and I'm not going to die.
Having cancer made me who I am.
My dream is to be a nurse.
I'm getting to show them what their life can look like after cancer. If I can do it, you can definitely do it.
I went upstairs after the phone call, though, and told my wife, I think I'm gonna ride a rocket. And she just, what?
I don't think I'll think about the worldly impact this mission is going to have until Chris is back on the ground. I'm like, why would they choose me? Look at that. But my dad had instilled this idea in me that I could do anything.
I'm commander of Inspiration 4. No matter what, I'm a father first, and that comes with a great deal of responsibility.
What is the speed?
25 times the speed of sound, or 17,500 miles an hour.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's getting real.
Our mission to space had to serve a bigger purpose, which is why it's a $200 million fundraising campaign for the St. Jude Children's Research Hospital.
There have been 3 Black female American astronauts who have made it to space. I will be number 4.
Start thinking about what could happen and the risks that are involved.
These people are you and me, and they will kick the doors open to space for the rest of us.
This is where we're going to live for 3 days.
Home sweet home.
Don't you just love bonuses? So we came together as a result of this person right here, Jared Isaacman. He is a very successful business person. We're talking billionaire success. And he decided that he wanted to go to space, so he bought out a SpaceX Dragon capsule. And this is where it gets interesting. Instead of going to space with his family or his friends, he decided that he was going to give the seats away because this was going to be a historic moment, the first all-civilian mission to orbit. So the first thing that he did was he reached out to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. And he said to them, I'm going to do the largest fundraiser in your history, a $200 million fundraiser to try to help end childhood cancer. And then he also said, I want to fly a childhood cancer survivor, and that's Haley Arsenault. When Haley was 10 years old, she was diagnosed with bone cancer in her leg. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital saved her life. It made such an impact on her that she grew up and became a physician's assistant working at St. Jude. And then Chris Sembrowski won the generosity seat by donating to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. And then I won the prosperity seat as an entrepreneur, artist, and poet by writing that poem and sharing Space to Inspire. We came together from March of 2021 to September of 2021 and trained just like NASA astronauts train with SpaceX. We trained the same way. And this was the capsule that we took to space. It's a SpaceX Dragon capsule. Now, SpaceX created the Dragon capsule to take NASA astronauts to the International Space Station. And when you go to the International Space Station, you usually dock right here. But we weren't going to the International Space Station. Instead, we were going to do an Earth orbit mission, where we were going to orbit the Earth for 3 days and live in the Dragon capsule that entire time. So SpaceX asked us, since you're not docking to the ISS, how would you like the largest, most continuous window ever flown in space, called a cupola? And we said, that would be great, so that we could look at Earth from that orbital perspective. And so we trained really hard, became a crew, and then it's time to launch to space. Now, because this was historic and it was SpaceX, they live streamed everything. And so this is the day of our launch. This is a screenshot taken from that live stream. And this is 14 minutes from blasting off into space. On the left here is my commander, Jared Isaacman. In the right seat here is me as the mission pilot. Now imagine you're sitting in a Dragon capsule and it's counting down to 0. At this moment, the question that I always get is, was I afraid? Was I afraid at this moment? Think to yourself, if you were in that Dragon capsule about to leave Earth, would you be afraid? How would you feel? So when people ask me that question, you know what I say? I say, no. I was ready. I was ready to go. So imagine you're sitting there strapped into the Dragon capsule on top of a Falcon 9 rocket. And it's counting down to 0. And you feel the Dragon lift off as the Falcon 9 comes to life. And everyone you know and love is there to watch you achieve that childhood dream of going to space.
Honor to prepare you for this historic flight. Today, you are truly inspiring the world. We wish you a great mission. Good luck, Godspeed, and enjoy the ride.
We launched from Kennedy Space Center, Launch Pad 39A, the same launch pad that sent the Apollo astronauts to the moon. Just after sunset on September 15th, 2021, and as our Falcon 9 lifted the Dragon capsule out into space, it turned night into day. And then 10 minutes later, you're in space. That's all it takes is 10 minutes. Space actually isn't that far away. The official agreed upon line for space is the Kármán line, which is 100 kilometers above us. 100 kilometers, that's it. But it takes a lot of energy to get out of Earth's gravity well. So 10 minutes later, we find ourselves in space, and we're there for 3 days. And people always ask, what was your favorite moment in space? I had many, many favorite moments. There were so many. But this one rises to the top. And the reason why is, remember that cupola, that giant window? This is the moment when we're going to open our forward hatch and we're going to see Earth through that window for the first time. Now, you're not going to see me because I'm filming. I realized that this was going to be a really important moment for us, and I wanted to capture it. But I want you to watch Haley's face, because Haley has a job to do. Now remember, we're all floating in space, so she's going to be floating there, and she's going to start pulling this white ribbon out of this bag. And her job is to put this white ribbon around the forward hatch to protect it from being damaged. And there's going to be a moment when she looks up and she sees the Earth through that cupola window. And just look at the expression on her face. Also, not only did we have iPhones in space, we had iPads. And so I queued up some very special music for me and my crew at this moment. So the music you're going to hear is playing in real time in space. If you're a sci-fi nerd, you're going to get this music right away. And for the young ones out there, you can look for our zero gravity indicator. When you go to space, you bring a stuffed animal with you. And that stuffed animal is the first thing that people see floating in the spacecraft to indicate that you're in zero gravity. So that's going to be in the shot also.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
To float up into that cupola and see our beautiful planet from that orbital perspective. And as you float up, the first thing you see is our nose cone that protects that cupola. And then you notice our beautiful planet, the blue and the white and the blackness of space all around as you swirl in the cupola, looking at how beautiful and bright our planet is. So stunningly beautiful. Lots of clouds, lots of ocean. As we were traveling around, now keep in mind that when you get to space, you got to reach orbital velocity. So we're traveling at 17,500 miles per hour around the Earth. And it is a sphere, in case there was any doubt. And as a result of that, because you are traveling so fast, you orbit the Earth every 90 minutes. Every 90 minutes to make one complete orbit. And as we know, half of the Earth is always lit, and the other half is always in shadow. As a result, you go into either a sunrise or a sunset every 45 minutes. Yeah, stunningly beautiful. So as you're traveling around, you're looking for familiar features, like continents. Does anybody recognize what continent this is? It curves down and to the right here. South America, Chile, the Andes, and then Argentina. And then what about this big continent? I heard it, Australia. Yeah. And so these, along with other amazing things to see from space. This is the night side. The lights, the artificial lights of humanity. This is Chicago. That's the Great Lakes, right in here. And then this is a giant storm. And all of these white dots, that is lightning from space. And that's what it looks like from the tops of the clouds as lightning is happening. Isn't that amazing? Large, we were at 585 kilometers above the Earth, you could see large sections of our planet at one time. And you're just blown away about the beauty of everything you're seeing, both day and night. I remember this moment. I was up in the cupola, and we're on the night side of the Earth, and we were inverted to the Earth, so we were always pointing down towards the Earth for our cupola. But you're able to see right here is actually the Earth and the thin layer of the atmosphere, and then the rest is the star field. And I sat there and I said, oh, there's my favorite constellation from space. And I'm like, is it? Wait, is that? Can you see it? Orion. Orion from space. And being able to sit there and be like, whoa, this is crazy. This is so amazing. But then there's the regular parts of living, working in space, and even eating in space. What's it like to eat in space? It's pretty awesome because everything floats. When you were a kid, your parents said, stop playing with your food. Now as an adult, you're like, I can't stop playing with my food. It's too much fun. So we had Skittles, and in this one, Haley is going to send me a Skittle. Do you guys know Skittles? I think you know Astros. Skittles, similar to that, little candy. We also had M&Ms, too. But what you learn in zero gravity is that it doesn't take much energy to move things. Newton's law, an object in motion will stay in motion until another force acts on it. Well, in gravity, if we were all in zero gravity right now, and I had an M&M, and I just went like that, it would continue floating until it hit the wall at the back there. And you got to be really careful, because when we first got on orbit, we're like, hey, catch this M&M. And we're like, and it'd be like, whoa, because it goes so fast. And so we had to realize that you had to just go like this. And it would have enough energy to take it all the way across to you. So this is Haley sending me a Skittle. Wait, let's see it one more time, in case you missed it. Wait, let me do it again. But a lot of times people will ask us, what did we do for those 3 days up there? And a lot of it was medical, trying to help advance human spaceflight. And so this is Haley and Jared. Haley's got the butterfly ultrasound. And with it, it's hooked up to an iPhone. And it's a portable ultrasound, and she's actually taking a scan of her eyeball. And the reason why is when you get on orbit, what happens is because there's no gravity pulling you down, you have fluids that shift up and around you. Your fluids don't get pulled down, so they equalize out in your body. So your face becomes puffy, your nose becomes nasally, and even your eyeballs change shape. And medically, unfortunately, for men, sometimes when you come back down, your eyeballs don't go back. When I say that doesn't go back, that doesn't mean that. It just means that you might need reading glasses or glasses as a result of it. But we're trying to figure out why that is. And I say it's because women should be going to space. Since it's Women's Month, just send all the women. I feel like there's a Beyonce song in there. You know? And so not only did we use it to look at our eyeballs, but we looked at our interjugular vein. Because sometimes for a few people, when they get on orbit, your blood is supposed to flow in one direction. Sometimes it starts to flow the other way, and that's not good. And so we're trying to figure out these medical reasons why this is happening. And we need the data and that information. And then we also looked at our bladders. Our bladders, because, you know, again, when we go to the restroom, gravity helps assist with emptying our bladders. Now you're in zero gravity, you don't have that assist anymore. And I'm just gonna answer this question right now because I know somebody's out there thinking, how do they go to the bathroom? If that was your question, you don't have to raise your hand at the end, because I'm going to share that secret with you right now. It's a one-word secret. Ready? Suction. Lots of suction. Because it's a liquid, right? And liquid is just going to go like this in zero gravity. You got to pull that away from you. So it's suction. That is how you use the restroom in space. Here is me I had my iWatch, doing experiments, setting up the timer. So lots of medical stuff. But for me and my crew, we also had personal moments that we could do things that were, you know, really important to us. You remember that Neil Armstrong autograph? Neither of my parents lived long enough to see me achieve this childhood dream. In fact, my dad passed away when I was 19 years old, so he didn't get to see any of the things that I had done as an adult. But I got to bring the Neil Armstrong autograph to space with me to Ed. Thanks for all the help. Neil Armstrong, Apollo 11. So my parents were there with me. And then as an artist and a poet, SpaceX said, is there anything you'd like to do? And I said, yes, I would love to paint in space. They said, oh, no. And I said, NASA astronaut Nicole Stott had done it. And I showed her as the example. And SpaceX said, oh, okay, I think we can do this. And so I drew and painted this entire piece while on orbit. And you're probably thinking, wow, how did you do that? We had iPhones, so I can show you. So I want you to watch my necklace, because you'll see that I'm in zero gravity by the way my necklace around my neck is floating.
Hey everyone, welcome to my art and space project. This is my first time trying to paint in space.
And that's floating.
So I have my canvas here. But what I want to do first is that I want to draw my scene out on the paper. And so I have these Fisher pens in here in a rainbow of colors, and they will work in zero gravity. And then once I have my scene drawn out that I want to do, I then can turn to, are you ready? My paint set, and I can watercolor it in. This should be fun. I think I want to do an Afro-Gaia scene below, and then our dragon spacecraft flying above.
Okay. I was a little nervous I was going to mess this up. You get one shot to do this. So those are pressurized pens to be able to work in zero gravity.
I have just drawn my scene, my Afro-Gaia scene with our spacecraft, our Dragon in space. And now I've got my watercolors out, and I'm going to see if I can use these pens. They're preloaded with water, and see what kind of paint, what happens when I do this. This is so exciting.
So SpaceX agreed because I could preload this with water, and so you don't have water floating everywhere. I could squeeze them, and then surface tension holds the water to the bristles, and then when you swirl it into paint, again, surface tension is holding that pigment. And so it was easier than I thought to paint in space, except for, again, Newton's law. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So you're kind of bobbing and weaving as you're going, trying to manage that energy.
Hey everyone, I finally finished my art and space project, my Afro-Gaia with our Dragon capsule. I hope you love it as much as I do. Look at how it shimmers.
And so I'm so grateful to SpaceX and my crew members to give me the time and space to be able to paint in space. And a lot of times people will ask, well, why didn't you paint up in the cupola? Well, again, you're traveling at 17,500 miles per hour, so you're like, I'm going to draw. No, I'm not. That just went by me. You don't have the time to do that. So it was easier to just go down in the bottom little corner of the spacecraft, kind of like anchor myself in, because again, you're floating and you've got a foothold. You stick your feet in the footholds. You've got Velcro to stick your paint set up against the bottom. So Velcro is everything in space, you know? And then you're working and you're drawing and doing all of that. And it took hours for me to do that. And then, and so 3 days in space goes really quick. One of the best parts about being up there is your crew, the people you go to space with. Even though we started off as strangers, we became a family, and then we got to go and have this experience together. And out of our crew, I was the oldest. I was 51 when we launched to space, and then Haley was the youngest. I think she was maybe 27, 20, yeah, I think she was 27. Technically, I could be her mom. But we became really good friends, and having these special moments up in the cupola together.
So this is our last time in the cupola.
Yep, and I don't want to cry because the Earth is so beautiful.
Oh, I'm already there.
It's been a real pleasure to go to space with you.
You too.
Yeah.
Just like getting to see something that so few people get to see, which is so lucky.
Make me cry. Oh my God, it is stunning.
Just so beautiful.
And it was beautiful. Being up in that cupola and being able to take the ultimate selfie. Remember, I was talking earlier about having that explorer mentality where you're trying to learn something new for yourself. Well, before I went to space, as a geoscientist, I thought, okay, I know that the Earth has a high reflectivity, and I also knew about the overview effect. The overview effect is when astronauts go to space and they see the Earth from this orbital perspective, and they come back transformed. They're more environmentalists. They talk about how there's no borders and that we should all get along because we're on Starship Earth. But for me, there was a term that I didn't have that wasn't part of my vocabulary before I went to space. But as a result of this experience, I learned a new phenomenon. And that is Earth light. All the light on my face is Earth light. The light coming off of our planet. And it's stunningly beautiful. The analogy would be moonlight. Think about this. Raise your hand if when there's a full moon rising and you step outside, who here loves moonlight and seeing a full moon? Look at everybody raise their hand. They're like, yeah, moonlight's great. Think about the history humanity has with moonlight. All the love stories and songs, romance, myths, lore, werewolves. Now, imagine you're in low Earth orbit and you're literally being bathed in Earth light. How's that going to make you feel? Think about the love you're going to have for your planet as a result of experiencing this. And I thought to myself, wow, this was so transformative for me that I've been a community college professor for 25 years now. Never once did I think about ever writing a science book. But last month, I actually published a science book all about Earth light and the phenomenon of this. When sunlight comes in and it strikes our planet, our atmosphere right away, it starts to take that sunlight, that full electromagnetic spectrum, and it starts to change it. It absorbs it, it scatters it, it reflects it, it does all these things. Makes the sky blue. We live in a world of reflected light. So when we step outside and we see the beautiful colors of the world around us, what we're seeing is how the earth is taking that light and transforming it into Earth light. And for me, that was so transformative that I felt like I had to bring Earth light down to earth. And this is why when we have opportunity and we take opportunity and we become an explorer and we're trying to learn something every day, if we're open to the experience, magic can happen. Your life can be transformed in ways you never even thought of. And for me, it was this moment. And then after 3 days, you have to come home. Yeah, 3 days isn't enough. When you go to space, 5 days or more. Be like, I ain't going unless you give me 5 days. At least 5 days. Right? Because think about it this way. You get on orbit and you're like a deer in the headlights. You're like, whoa, this is crazy, this is cool. And then you have adaptation. You know, everybody has some form of space adaptation. Your fluids are shifting. Your face is becoming puffy. You might get a headache. You might feel a little nausea. For those of you who didn't raise your hand because you're like, ooh, I'm not going to space because I don't want to get sick. Yeah, some people do get sick, but we have a saying, better living through chemistry. You can take medicine. So when I got on orbit, I felt a little queasy. Not enough to throw up, but enough where I'm like, And so I just took medicine and felt better within a half hour. And so, and then the second day, you start feeling better. You're like, okay, I got this. This is cool. This is great. You start doing some spins and things like that. And then the third day, SpaceX calls up and says, pack up the capsule, you got to come home. And you're like, no, I need a few more days, you know. And so we splashed down in the Atlantic Ocean just off the coast of Florida. We came in across Florida, and it was the first time they had heard a sonic boom across the state of Florida by a spacecraft since the shuttle last flew. And I remember this moment because you sit there and you brace for impact. And I remember we hit the water, and then we bounced up, and I could feel it. I could feel that. It was my Phoenix rising moment. It was my Michelle Obama becoming moment. Yeah. And you know why? It's analogous to the Olympics, which are happening right now. The Olympics, you get the call saying, congratulations, you have been selected for the Olympic team. And you're like, oh my God, yes. Same like me getting that call for space. What? I'm going to space. But now you got to train. You got to train. So you're training for 6 months, getting ready for the Olympics or to go to space. And then the day comes when you're competing. And for us, it was 3 days in space because we're the first all-civilian mission to orbit. There were people who thought we weren't going to make it. They're going to do what? Chuck some civilians up into space? Keep in mind that we were the 4th ever human launch by SpaceX. In 2020, of May 2020, they launched crew demo with Bob and Doug, 2 NASA astronauts. Later that year, they launched Crew 1, 4 NASA astronauts. Then in early 2021, they launched Crew 2, 4 more NASA astronauts. So 3 flights, all NASA astronauts to the International Space Station. And then SpaceX said, we're going to chuck some civilians up into space. So when we came back with that successful mission and we hit that water and we splashed down, not only had we successfully done it, got that gold medal, but I became the first black woman to pilot a spaceship, and nobody could take that away from me. When you have these successes, you need to celebrate them. So we brought the capsule on to the back of the boat, and again, we're live streaming. The world is watching as we come back from this epic journey to space. And our flight doctor, Anil, he comes into the Dragon capsule when we're still strapped in, and he checks on you. Are you okay? You know, how are you feeling? Do you want us to help you out? Because just 3 days in space, you might be, not a little bit wobbly on your feet. You might be dehydrated, not feeling your best. And then Neil's like, are you okay? Do you want some help coming out? I'm like, Anil, I got this. I'm like, the world's watching. This is my Michelle Obama becoming moment. I'm not just going to be carried off this spacecraft. I'm going to come out dancing.
There's a starman waiting in the sky. He'd like to come and meet us, but he thinks he'd blow our minds.
Having that moment, as you go through life, those moments worth celebrating and letting people know. Letting your earth light shine. That's important. But I also recognize that with great opportunity comes great responsibility. You all know Dr. Mae Jemison is in the house, not this house, but she's in Cape Town. I don't think she's here. Mae? She was a trailblazer for me. She's my hero. I was 22 when she went to space. That role model. When she says, if you can see it, you can be it. She was that for me. Followed by these other amazing NASA astronauts. And becoming part of this group, this family. I don't know if it's going to the next. Let me try that here. There we go. Becoming part of this amazing family of women who are trailblazing the way. But it doesn't just start with the astronaut. For me, it goes back further than that. Because I always wanted to be a pilot. And thinking about Bessie Coleman, the first African-American woman to get her pilot's license. And she did it in 1921, during a time of racism and segregation in the United States. Bessie didn't even have a high school diploma, but she had a dream. She wanted to be a pilot. She couldn't do it in the United States. They wouldn't let her. But that didn't stop her. You know what she did? She taught herself French. And she went to France in 1921 to get her pilot's license. She is a trailblazer. So much so that she's remembered in the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum in Washington, D.C. And I'm happy to say, from 1921, when she broke that glass ceiling, 100 years later exactly, in 2021, I became the first black woman to pilot a spaceship. And my spacesuit, my SpaceX spacesuit, will be joining Bessie in the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum next year. But why do we do all of this? Going back to my poem, that Space to Inspire poem, and talking about creating Jedi space, that just, equitable, diverse, and inclusive space for all of humanity. I'm a sci-fi nerd. This may be a Star Wars acronym, but it's a Star Trek meaning. How many of you are Trekkies? How many of you are Star Wars? I got you both, Star Wars and Star Trek, all in one thing here. But this whole idea of us boldly going together. But when I'm talking about Jedi space, I'm actually not talking about outer space. I'm talking about this space. How do we create Jedi space for ourselves, for our families, for our communities, for our schools, for our work, for the earth, and then beyond? That's really what matters. The reason why is because when we're talking about solving for space, we're actually talking about solving for Earth. Because a lot of times people will ask me, why should we spend all of this money on space exploration when we have wicked problems here on Earth? And what I tell them is this. As humanity goes to the moon, Mars, and beyond, as we solve the complex problems of living on the moon, we're actually solving the complex problems for here on Earth. We're going back to the moon, and we're going back to stay this time. We're going to put the first female footsteps onto the moon. And we're going to put the first person of color's footsteps on the moon. Yeah. And I say, that can be one person. Just send a black woman. But the point is, we're going back to the moon. We're going to go back and we're going to stay. And we've got to figure out how to do that. What is the best energy system for the moon? What is the best water recycling program for the moon? What's the best waste management program for the moon? What's the best shelter for the moon? These are complex problems that we're trying to figure out. And as we try to figure out the answers to these questions, we are creating innovative new solutions right here on Earth. And as we create those innovative solutions, guess what? They get spun off so that we become more sustainable. Because as we solve for space, in order to live on the moon, we got to be efficient in food, water, energy, resource management, waste management, shelter. What do we have problems with here on Earth? Food, water, energy, resource management, waste management, shelter. And so they're not two choices, either space or Earth. It's actually one choice. Let's solve for space so that we can solve for Earth. That's why we go. That's why we do this. My motto is space to inspire. You heard my poem talking about that. When I'm talking about space to inspire, just like Jedi space, I'm not talking about outer space. Space to Inspire is about this space, the space that makes you, you. There will only ever be one of you, and how you use your space, your unique space, to inspire yourself and those around you matters. The things that you do, the things that you say, how you interact with people around you, this all matters. And so as you go out and use your space to inspire, think about how you can make that space a Jedi space, just, equitable, diverse, and inclusive for yourself and those around you. Last week, I was giving a talk here, and this guy afterwards came up to me, and he showed me a photo of him in high school here in South Africa. And he was so excited, and he said, the guy next to me, that's Elon Musk. And I said, wow, that's amazing. I said, were you friends with him? And he said, oh, no, not really. You don't know who the person next to you is going to grow up to be when you're in school. So all you young kids out there, learning to be a good human and being good to the people around you is so important, because when opportunity comes, you want them to think of you. Remember Inspiration 4? I didn't watch the Super Bowl, but my phone blew up because my friends thought of me when they saw that opportunity. So as you go out there and use your beautiful, unique space to inspire yourself and those around you and beyond, remember to always let your earth light shine in the process. Thank you for listening to my Space to Inspire story. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. That's so nice. Thank you. Thank you. Wait. I'm going to have to do this now. Wait. I'm going to just do a selfie here. Oh, thank you, everyone. This is amazing. Thank you. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, everyone. So now what we're going to do is we're going to give Dr. Proctor a short break, because, you know, when you give your passion to so many people, it does require a lot of energy. So we're going to give her a moment to sit. I don't know where my cordless mic is, but I'll just use this one. We're now going to attempt something, and let's see how our techno peasants handle it. So what you're going to do is you're going to grab your cell phones. You're going to open up a browser. For some of you, it's the Chrome program on your phone or the Safari program. You know when you go to Google, it's one of those things. And you are going to go to kahoot.it, Kahoot.it, Kahoot it. And when you do, we're going to give you a PIN code, which you will type in, and then you'll put your name. And if you are not here right now and you're playing from somewhere across the world, because we are streaming this live, just put your country in. Give us a little hint where you are from. And we're going to start the Kahoot, and hopefully, there's the PIN code, 874528. So once you go to Kahoot.it, you're going to put in 874528. Oh, I see the names are popping in already. We've got Finn and we've got Heather. I see Susie's in. Zander. Oh, they're looking serious over there. Grant and Joyful. We've got Love, Klomsa, Didi. Look at them go. Julia, they are all signing in. Logan, LaRue. Woo. Keep going, keep going. We've got a cordless mic. Oh, they've given me a cordless mic. I can walk around. How many we on so far? 289. This is looking good so far. We want to break this thing. Let's fill it up. Keep going, keep going. We'll give you another minute or two to sign in. Some of you are going, how do I switch this thing on? Where's this Chrome thing? Mine's green. I don't know what he's talking about. Chrome is never mind, never mind. You can just help the person next to you. Right, we've got 324 people. Oh, the Kahoot people are going to be very excited about this. We have to take a bit of a photo of this. Should we do a selfie? We should do a selfie. There. There we go. We did kind of get you in. Don't worry, don't worry. All right, we're going to give you 30 seconds. We've still got 350. They're still signing in. Benny, thank you for joining. We appreciate it. And first place, someone's feeling very confident tonight. We've got Lydia all the way from Cape Town. Carrie and, of course, Kai and Bukle Buyeza. We've got a whole range of people over here. Put up your hand if you are already in. Oh, this is fantastic. Okay. We are going to get started. And what's going to happen is the first question does not count for any points, but it's going to help you to understand how the game's going to work. You use your phone as the remote control to input the answer. And remember, you can see the question on your phone as well as the screen, so you can choose where you want to look. All right, and don't just push the button, because you can't unpush it, but the quicker you push it, the more points you score. So think about that. Right, we're up to 300 and... No, we're almost up to 400.
Yes,
that's very impressive. I think we're going to hit 400. Let's go to start. Okay. Here we go. This is the Living Math Space Tour at the IAU GA, General Assembly. How do you spell IAU? This is just a special question to help you get in. Let's see how quickly they can answer. And I can see these answers coming in incredibly quickly. 376 answers already. 5 seconds left. And we're about to see no leaderboard because, of course, you've all got 0. But, oh. Okay. So 31 of you might not make the next space program, but you know, we do need people to help with carrying the bags of the astronauts. All right, so we're going to get it next. And of course, Mix, you were pretty quick, and Gundo and Boney and Ruben and Chad, but that one did not count for points. Now it's going to get real. Are you ready? Let's go with the first question. Who was the second person to walk on the moon? Oh boy, who was the second person to walk on the moon? Was it Elon Musk, Michael Collins, Buzz Aldrin, or Neil Armstrong? I don't know. Dr. Proctor, do you know this one? You don't know?
It wasn't a black woman.
Oh, it wasn't. It wasn't. Oh! 275 of you got it correct. Let's have a look at the leaderboard. We're going to click on next to see who is actually large and in charge. So click on next. There we go. Whoa, look at this. Vanessa. Where's Vanessa? Oh, Vanessa's over here. She knows her stuff. We've got Selo. Where's Selo? Selo's over there. Woo, woo, woo. We've got Stephen's nephew. Oh, boy. We've got family over here. Where's the sleepover club? Sleepover club. Are you sleeping over? I'm just checking. And, of course, Anna V. Where's Anna V? Welcome, Anna V. But remember, that was just the first question. Let's go on to our next question. True or false? Dr. Sian Proctor is an astronaut, an author, an artist, and an analog astronaut. Is that true or false? I'll give you a hint. It's one of those. So you pick one, you decide. And 340 of you got it correct. Let's have a look at the leaderboard. Oh, we have a little bit of an upset. Anna V is now sitting in the lead. We've got Take Me to Space, Gavin Astro, Captain Isema, and of course Anna in 5th place. 2 Annas, top and bottom, but of course up 94 places. I don't know where you climbed from. High Tech Dragon is the highest climber. Should we see what's going to happen next? Let's go to our next question. True or false? We always see the same side of the moon irrespective of where we are on Earth. Is that true or false? I'll give you a hint. It could be true or false. That's all I can say. Oh boy, 296 of you knew that that was correct. Let's have a look at our leaderboard. Oh my word, Alec has now climbed to 1st place. Taryn coming in 2nd, Anna V in 3rd, Henko coming in 4th, and Take Me to Space in 5th. And it was a tough round because 48 of you lost your answer streak of 3. Every time you get 3 correct in a row or more, you score bonus points. All right, our next question. Oh, in which year did Neil Armstrong first walk on the moon? Was it 1969? Was it 1957? Was it 1960? Was it 1949, 1986, or 1972? When did it happen? If you are under the age of 10, you might want to ask someone next to you who's a little bit older. Maybe someone who's about 12 or 13. They might know this one. 2 seconds. 1. Ooh, it was indeed 1969. And if you were paying attention to Dr. Proctor's talk, you might have got that one. Let's have a look at our leaderboard. Oh my word, look at this. Take Me to Space is now sitting in 1st place. Vanessa, you've made a comeback to 2nd. We've got Amina coming in 3rd. Phoenix coming in 4th, and Cash coming in 5th. Oh, is he going to cash in? I don't know. But 45 players just reached an answer streak of 3, which means bonus points. They could be jumping up the ladder at any moment. Our next question. It's a slider. How many IAU General Assemblies have taken place, including this one? So you're going to slide, you're going to pinpoint where you think the answer is. How many General Assemblies? Don't start pointing at posters, Dr. Proctor. They might get a hint. I'm not even going to give you a clue. Oh, let's have a look. Let's have a look. And 32 was the correct answer. 186 of you knew that. Oh my word, Take Me to Space is still there, but only just, with Vanessa coming in 2nd. We've got Shingarai coming in 3rd, Big Buff coming in 4th, and Cash coming in 5th, and 9 players have hit an answer streak of 3. Our next question. It's a quiz question. How long does the International Space Station take to orbit the Earth? Do you know how long it takes to go around the Earth? Is it 60 minutes, 90 minutes, 6 hours, or 9 hours? Oh, it's a tricky question. I can give you a clue. It starts with an N and ends in 90, but I'm not going to say which one it is. That was just to help the first few that got that one question wrong, because some people do need a bit of help every now and again. 400 answers came in, and 337 of you got it correct. That means you were paying attention during the talk. Out of interest, if you're going to go around every 90 minutes, how many times do you go around the Earth in 24 hours? Oh, all the calculations going on. How many? 16. So if Dr. Proctor went to space for 3 days, then that would mean you went around the Earth 48 times. 48 times. Whew. And it was definitely round, or sphere. It was. Okay. Just pass that message on, because you always get those people who ask. All right, next question. Oh, hold on. Let's have a look at it. Oh, Take Me to Space is still leading. But let me tell you, Take Me to Space. Where's Take Me to Space? You do realize that Vanessa is sitting 2 rows. While you standing there running, thinking I'm winning, she's going to tap you on the left shoulder. When you turn, she's coming around the right. Be careful. I know Vanessa. All right, let's have a look. Dee Dee's making a comeback with 3 in a row. That's fantastic. A multi-select. There's more than one answer to this one. Which of these billionaires have traveled to space? Do you recognize them at all? You've got 6 seconds left. 1 second. Ooh. Elon Musk is the only one that has not been to space. The others have all put their money where their mouth is, built their own crafts, and have traveled on those crafts. Let's have a look at our leaderboard. Oh my, where's Cosmic Charm? Some people are not very charmed about that. Coming in without telling anyone about it. Big Buff coming in second. Wow, Astromancer, and of course, Steve-O in space. Look at this, a whole brand new set of 5 people. But that doesn't mean anything, because we've still got a few questions to go. And 14 players have hit an answer streak of 6. So that means we're going to get some more surprises. Next question. What are the new missions to the moon called? Is it Artichoke, Art and Garfunkel, Artemis, or Art and Miss? 4 seconds. And 344 of you got that one correct. Let's have a look at our leaderboard. Ooh, Cosmic Charm is still holding on, with Big Buff coming in second. We've got Wow, Astromancer, and Rocket Chief. Where's Rocket Chief? Nice of you to join us. Very kind of you. But of course, Mummy and Ivan. Where's Mummy and Ivan? Mummy and Ivan, they've been watching. They are coming after you. Next question. It's a multi-select. Which of the art pieces below were created by Dr. Proctor? So have a look at those art pieces. Which of those are her pieces of art?
I'll give you a hint. There's 2.
2 of them belong to Dr. Proctor. Think about it. Oh, there's a lot of discussion and debate. I love the teamwork that's going on. And of course, it was the top 2. I know that some of you thought that green could have been the right answer. That was either my first grade finger painting or a Jackson Pollock. And the only difference between my finger painting and a Jackson Pollock is about $49 million. So you never know. All right, let's have a look at our leaderboard. Oh, what just happened here? Wow. No, that's who's winning. Wow is now in first place, and we've got Astromancer, Rocket Chief, Steve-O, and Cosmic Charm. Where's Wow? Wow, I like it. All right, we've only got a couple of questions left. Here we go. Pin the answer, and it's double points. Where was Dr. Proctor born? So now you can stretch it on your phone. You can stretch out the screen a little bit and try and put it on the map. And I made the square much bigger to give it a better chance. Oh, you've got a minute to work it out. Some of you are thinking, where on earth is Cape Town? She was not born in Cape Town if you are looking. Sis. You've got 37 seconds left. All the answers are coming in very quickly. Either they're very confident or a lot of good guessing going on. 300 answers. Wow, this is fantastic. 20 seconds. Oh boy, where was she born? I mean, that's the first thing you got to know. And second of all, where on the map would you find it? Some of you are chucheling while pinning it on. And now here comes my favorite part. It's going to show us all the pins. Let's see how good your guessing is. Here we go.
That's hilarious.
Oh! 27 of you got that correct. I need to get a photograph of that. That is just unbelievable. Well done. And I really made a big square there to give you a chance. I think about 26 of them might have actually got nothing. All right, let's have a look at our leaderboard. Whoa! Lucas, where's Lucas? Lucas has now moved into first place. We've got Anna, Michael Moore, Amina, and Bib. 5 very different names to what we had before. And of course, Zed Hatting is back in the game with 3 in a row. Whew! This is going to get tight. Here comes your next question. The 4th planet orbiting the sun is what? Is it Mars, Mercury, Venus, or Saturn? $14 seconds left. Are they going to get it right? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ooh. That is impressive. Let's have a look at our leaderboard. Ooh, wow, look at that. Wow has moved back into position number 5. Lucas still holding on. But remember, the last couple of questions are certainly going to make you think. Next. Here we go. Our next question. Oh, it's a second last question. It's a multi-select. Which of the songs below were part of Dr. Proctor's playlist on Inspiration 4? Which of those songs? I'm not even going to tell you how many of them are her songs. Dr. Proctor doesn't even know how to do the Star Trek salute. She keeps getting it wrong. 5 seconds left. Which are the songs on this list over here that were on Dr. Proctor's list? It was Stay Gold, Stevie Wonder, Imagine, John Lennon, and Rocket Man. That was Elton John. Who got some of that right? Who got all of it right? Who got none of it right? Who just wants to put up their hand? Excellent. All right. Let's see what this does to our leaderboard. Oh! Anna has now moved into first place. And then we have Lucas, Michael Moore, Bib, and Space Bro. We have one more question left, and I can tell you now, this is where it gets interesting. Let's go for it. It's a double pointer. Who was the first South African to fly to space? Type it in if you know the answer. You've only got 27 seconds. Type it in. Who was the first South African to fly to space? If you need help with spelling, Dr. Dr. Proctor. No, it's not. She's not from South Africa, although she does wish she was. She loves South Africa. 4 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Now, I'll tell you what we're going to do. Whoa, before you all get excited, we are going to click the review button. Please click the review button. You can click the first one, Mark Shuttleworth. Marge, that's his mom, but you can take that as well. We're feeling very generous. Mark South African Huttleworth, we can take that one too. We've got Mark Shuttleworth. He got very nervous on the flight, so we can take that one too. Mark Shuttleworth, he was worth the whole shuttle. We can take that one. Then, of course, we've got Mark Shuttleworth. He was, that's like, yes, we'll take that one too. Mark Shuttle, yes, we can take that one. Whoa. We've got Mark Shuttle. He was there too. Mal was his twin sister. She was there. We could take that. Mark Skettleworth. Yes, we'll let that one go. Some people, when they type, they've got fat fingers like mine. It doesn't always work so well. Mark Shuttleworth, 2 words. We'll take it. Mark Shuttleworth, we'll take that as well. Mark Shuttleworth, yes. We'll take, hold on. Keep going. And then Andrew. Who's Andrew? We'll come back to that one. We've got Shuttleworth, the 1 word. We'll give that one. We'll give Mark that one. Mark Richard Shuttle. I mean, his middle name might be Richard, so we'll let that one go. Brett Shuttleworth happened to be a model, so it's not Brett Shuttleworth. It's definitely not Cynthia, and I know Cynthia. Oh, boy. Shuttleworths. Yes, the warts were there. We can take that red one. Mark Subtle. Oh, he was the one who was a little bit more subtle than the others. We could take him too. Scroll down a little bit more. Mark something. Yes, we could take a Mark something. We've got a Mark Subtle. Some rand, no. Oh, Mark Shuttleworth. Shuttleworth. Yes, we could take him. A little bit lower down, Sally McFarth. No, keep going. Mark Shuttleworth. Shuttleberg. Yeah, we'll take those. Michael Shuttle. We didn't take the Brett one, and we didn't take the Andrew, so we can't take Michael. Oh, Mr. S. I wish. And a little bit lower. Is that it?
Yeah.
And was there anyone else we missed? Mark Lottering, can you imagine? Yo. I could just see him there, sitting there as the astronauts come in. Hello! Yeah, no. All right, we're going to go to submit. Let's have a look. And our 3 winners are coming up very soon. Go to next. Oh boy, here we go. In 3rd place, we have Amina. Amina, please come up. In 2nd place, Michael Moore. If you are here, come up. And in 1st place, drum roll, please, it's Anna. Come on up. Michael Moore's here. Oh, they're all here today. That is fantastic. All right. So what we're going to do is our 3rd prize. We're going to get a photograph with you. And come on up. Who was 3rd? It was Amina. Oh, is Amina online? Ooh, Amina is online. Where is Amina? Amina, if you're watching us, let us know where you are, because we've got to get your prize to you. We are now looking at who was the 2nd person. That would be you. Come on up. You're winning this cool thing. Now come stand there next to Dr. Proctor so we can get a photo.
Congratulations. Well done.
I'll just come stand. Oh, you're taking one. You take first. Your camera's much bigger than mine. And I'm coming in. Are you ready? 1, 2. Got you. Right. Our first prize is a moon rock. And that's going to go to Anna. Come on up, Anna. There we go. Come on over.
Congratulations. Well done.
And have a look at the photographer over there. He's going to get a photo of you guys. I'm coming in. Excellent. There we go. Let's give them a round of applause. And Amina, we will get your card to you. But now we're going to go into some questions. And I just want to say that from a time point of view, because we've got a very tight schedule tomorrow, we're going to take about 5 questions. 5 questions. If you've got a question, stick up your hand And I saw those hands went up first. The microphone's coming to you.
What was your scariest moment in space?
Wait, what was that?
Scariest moment in space.
My scariest moment in space. Well, you train for 6 months, and me and my commander, what we trained mostly on were emergencies and contingencies. And so when you're up in a spacecraft, if there's some kind of emergency or a contingency, something's happened, there's an alarm that goes off. It's a sound you don't want to hear in space. Well, we heard that sound. And we all did our job just like we were trained. And so it happened to be, it was basically a fire alarm, basically. It was a waste fan alarm. And we were able to work through the issue with SpaceX and remain on orbit. But that was a scary moment.
Okay. Another question.
Did you ever see strange things in space?
Are you asking if I saw aliens?
Yes.
I will tell you right now, I was looking. I was looking and looking and looking. I'm like, come on, let's see it. But I didn't see any strange aliens or strange phenomenon. So that means I just got to go back so I can continue to look.
Could you put the space air into a jar and bring it back to Earth?
Can you bring space back in a jar?
Well, we can definitely bring the smell of our spacecraft in a jar and back to Earth. Well, you're contained within your spacecraft, so we didn't go outside of our spacecraft. But you know what's really cool? My commander, Jared Isaacman, is going back to space within the next month or two. And he's going to do the first all-civilian spacewalk. And one of the things I can't wait to ask him is, what does it smell like when you're outside the capsule? So that's something to keep an eye on.
Okay. When you're orbiting the Earth, are you facing upside down?
Oh, yes. That's the best part about being in zero gravity. You can be in any orientation. So when you're in the Dragon capsule and you're training to go to space, you have a sense of what's front, left, right, back, up, down, all around. So you have an orientation because you're training in gravity. But when you go up into space, you can be in any orientation. So what was cool is that if this is the Earth, my hand here, this is the Earth, we were inverted to the Earth like this. So our capsule was pointed always towards the Earth as we were orbiting it. So you can imagine that for us, most of the time when we were in there floating in space, we stayed in the same orientation that we trained in. What do I mean by that? Is that most of the time we weren't upside down, even though we could be, and off to the side. Most of the time we were in the upright position where, we had the front of the capsule, the top of the capsule, the left and the right, because that's what we were used to. But we're in space inverted. So we felt like we were right side up. But when we floated up into the cupola, the Earth was above you because you're inverted. So imagine your brain is like, wait a second. We're right side up. How is the Earth above you? So yes, we were inverted to the Earth traveling through space, but we felt like we were right side up. So every time I talk about seeing the Earth from space, I'm always like this, looking up, because I was like, oh my God, the Earth was there above me. And because it's such a strange experience, when you come back from space, your brain doesn't know what to do with it. So you know how your brain catalogs this experience? As a dream. It makes you feel like you were dreaming. And that's why you have to have a selfie of yourself in space as your screensaver. So you can remind yourself, you're like, that wasn't a dream. Was that a dream? That wasn't a dream. But it's really interesting because your brain doesn't know what to do with it. It's like, what? Was that real? And so it feels very dream-like, even though it was a real experience.
Okay.
Good question.
The microphone's coming up to the front here.
What food did you have when you were in space?
What food would you want to eat in space?
Pizza.
Good answer.
I knew kindred spirits right here. SpaceX asked us what food did we want to eat in space. At first, they wanted to give us healthy food, and we were like, yeah, that's not happening. Because food and mood are linked together. And so you don't want hangry astronauts. Astronauts are hungry and angry because they don't like their food. So when SpaceX asked me what food I wanted to eat in space, you know what I said? Pizza. I did. I had pizza in space. A delicious pepperoni. I'm gluten-free, and SpaceX made me a delicious pepperoni and jalapeno pizza. But I also had a delicious BLT, bacon, lettuce, and tomato. Bacon is a lot of fun to play with in space. You can just float bacon everywhere. Somehow Haley ended up with all the bacon. So very jealous of that. Cheese, M&Ms, olives, just, you know, your favorite foods. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm coming around this side.
What was your favorite moment?
Oh, you know, the problem is it's so hard because I had so many favorite moments. Definitely opening up the forward hatch and seeing the Earth, being able to paint in space, just such a special moment. Being able to float the Neil Armstrong autograph with my family. Also, here's a hidden gem. Okay, so if you watch the Netflix series, it's available. You can just go into Netflix and put Inspiration 4 in, and it will come up. You'll know that I had a very special phone call before we left Earth. So it's kind of interesting because before you leave Earth, you can make one call, and you're literally in your spacesuit, you're at the launch pad, and there's a phone. This is back from the Apollo days, and you get to make one phone call before you leave Earth. So we're sitting around this big table, and they said, at SpaceX headquarters, and they're like, well, who do you want to talk to before you leave Earth? And I thought to myself, I was like, well, my parents have passed away. I got divorced and went to space. I got divorced in 2020, and then I went to space in 2021. I gotta say, it worked out great for me, you know? But then, so I don't have a significant other, and I don't have kids. And I was like, I don't want to talk to my siblings, you know? And they're like, well, who do you want to talk to? I'm like, somebody who has made an influence on me. I want to talk to Michelle Obama. So if you watch the Netflix series, I talked to Michelle Obama actually the day before because my crew members, Netflix said to me, you know, instead of having that personal conversation just between you and her because nobody hears it, would you mind if you did it the day before so your whole entire crew could experience it? And I was like, yeah, that's fine. But then every day you get one phone call in space, and we were there for 3 days. So again, we have another conversation at SpaceX where they say, okay, you have a phone call every day. Who do you want to talk to? And I'm like, I don't want to talk to my siblings every day. Nah. And they're like, well, who? And I said, I want to talk to my favorite musician. And they said, who is that? I said, Bono from U2. SpaceX Dragon capsule, hold for Bono. 20-minute conversation with Bono in space. I'd never met him before, but I'm a huge U2 fan. So there's a nice Easter egg on my Instagram page because part of my recording with him in space is posted there, but then I went to see them perform in the Sphere in Las Vegas. And it was really amazing because I got to go as part of the friends and family, and I never met him, right? And so, but I wrote him a nice note saying thank you for allowing me to come to the concert. I'm in the concert. They play the entire concert. The Sphere is amazing. And at the end, they come on and do an encore. Well, they did like 3 songs for their encore, but then they didn't leave. And I was like, man, I wonder what this next song is going to be. So I'm recording it. And Bono comes up, he's talking, he goes, yeah, people have come from all over. You know, we've got friends that came from just down the street. We even got friends who came from space. He's like, Dr. Sian Proctor's in the house. And I'm like, Bono, he's giving me a shout out. And then he goes, and it was great because, you know, we had that playlist for space where we got to pick 10 songs for our Spotify. And my #1 song was a U2 song. And so he goes, yeah, you know, she's everything. Dr. Proctor's awesome. You know, we exchanged letters and all of that. And he goes, yeah, you know, it was a beautiful day. Yes. And the last song they played was A Beautiful Day. Yeah, so you can scroll down and you can find that. So that was special to me because I didn't make it into the Netflix series. That was just something I got to have this experience with Bono. And so that was really a special moment in space.
Did you enjoy the Skittles from Haley?
I love the Skittles from Haley. Yeah, me and Haley became such good friends. I'm not quite sure where the mic is. Me and Haley became such good friends that we actually traveled together. We went to Antarctica together the year after we went to space. And then we went to, just last year, we went to Ecuador together. So really good friends with Haley.
We got a question over here. Can we
Okay.
get some pictures, please?
Wait, say again?
Can we get some pictures?
Can you get some pictures? Yeah. Wait. Are you a Harry Potter fan? Yeah, which house? Gryffindor.
There we go.
Okay,
There we go.
me and my crew members, 3 of us were big Harry Potter fans, and one of us was what was it with the House of Dragons? What's that TV show? Game of Thrones. Well, Jared's the Game of Thrones person, and me, Chris, and Haley were all like, no, Harry Potter. So we made Jared take the Pottermore test. 2 of us out of the 4 are Hufflepuffs, and 2 of us are Gryffindors. You can try to guess who are the Hufflepuffs and who are the Gryffindors. I can tell you, my call sign is Leo. You know which one I am.
Hufflepuffs. Okay, here's what I'd like to say. There was one group over here that traveled from Neisner this afternoon to get here. That's like 5.5 hours to get here. Where are they? Are you here? Can you guys please come up to the stage so we can get a photograph with you and Dr. Proctor? Quick, you guys. Anyone that travels for 5 hours definitely needs to get a photograph with Dr. Proctor. And don't start saying, we came from Belleville. No, that's not the same thing. It's not.
Here is a sticker for you. Thank you, ma'am. You're welcome.
And while they are coming up, Kolo and Chalkhouse, if you guys are here, please come down to the front as well.
Here's a sticker for you.
All of you that came with, sorry?
Okay, let's get a photo together. Ready?
Oh, no. If you're here with Reach for a Dream or Chalkhouse, please come down to the bottom. Let's have one more. Okay. One more, you guys squish together.
Come on over here.
You're going to be in the photo. I know. No, it's fine. I'll get it like this. Okay. Got you. Excellent. All right. And then we've got Reach for a Dream and Chalkhouse going to come in. And then what we're going to do after that is we're going to get Dr. Proctor to stand here, and she's going to get a photograph with all of you in the background. So just rearrange your lipsticks and your hair and everything, and make sure you look fabulous. We're just going to wait for our Chalkhouse, and we're waiting for Reach for a Dream. There we go. Excellent.
Hi. How you guys doing? Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Hello. Welcome. One big group photo. All right, you're going to have to kind of like squish closer together.
Yeah, we're going to get together. Very nice to meet all of you.
Closer together, so we can get you all in.
Very nice to meet you. Very nice to meet you.
Right.
Okay, where do you want me?
Squeeze in the middle there. Yeah, let's see.
Okay.
Can you gonna get the first photo?
Okay, wait. All right, is everybody? Can you see? Get
yeah.
in closer. Like, so if you're shorter, you can come in. How do we need? Okay, squeeze.
Yeah.
Okay, ready?
Look at this camera first.
Ready? Gotcha. Wait, we got one more.
One more.
One more.
Are you ready?
Ready?
1. Got you. All right. And then, last but not least, just the volunteers. We got all the volunteers who've been ushering and bringing everyone in. We're going to ask the volunteers to come down. You know who you are. You've got your badges on. And then we're going to get Dr. Proctor. You're going to be in the middle for a big group photo. So volunteers, quick. We need the volunteers, please.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yes, you are. Yes.
Right, the volunteers are coming on.
Being able to control the temperature.
Some of you can also kneel in front as well, but maybe go further back, step back, take 2 steps back. There we go. Some of you can kneel in front. We've got quite a few volunteers. This is looking lovely. Are you able? Yeah, you might all need to take 2 steps back. Yeah, the further back, then we can fit you all in. Okay, some of you can kneel in front. It's probably easier. You got them all in? Okay. And stay there. Ready? Yep, I can get you all in. Ready? I won't. 1. Okay, got you. All right, thank you. And now, everyone, stay where you are. Dr. Proctor's going to stand on the stage, and we're going to get one of all of you behind her. Yes. We'll see. Okay.
I leave it here.
Sorry, guys. We'll chat afterwards. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to try. We might not be able to. Can you get a quick photograph? Okay. If everyone on the sides wants to just kind of fill in on the seats in the middle here so we can fill it up, just find an empty seat and sit in it. Doesn't matter where you are. We want to just fill it up in the middle here. Oh, you never know. We might give out a prize. You never know. The prize is knowledge. All right, we've got Dr. Proctor in the middle. If you want to be in the photo, just move over into the middle. Looking good. Oh, that's much better. All right, look at the photographer.
Can you see me? All I need is a gorgeous smile. Here we go.
And then wait. We need one video clip. Let your earth light shine. What? Space to inspire. Okay, so. Okay, when you hear the countdown, 3, 2, 1, space to inspire. Are you ready? And then go woo at the end. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. Space to inspire. All right, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you. We've got an early morning tomorrow morning. Okay, I'm afraid
There's space to rent in this town. Out of luck. And the reason that you had to care, the traffic is stuck. And you're not moving anywhere. You thought you found a friend to take you out of this place.